Good afternoon, good morning, greetings, friends. Good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I am Pharmacist Ben, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you aboard. We're going to take your phone calls here in just a moment. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552, toll free. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. If you got questions about medication supplements, prescription drugs, if you want to get off your meds, help a loved one get off their meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program like the one designed by Dr. Wallach, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a comment, we'd love to hear from you. Success story, we'd love to hear from you as well. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552, toll free. I am a nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements in my practice. Where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs, that's because I look at the human body as a healing and regenerating system that is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. It's in the body's nature to heal and renew, but it needs raw materials to do its work, the raw materials we call nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I thought we'd start off the program today talking about the medical model's favorite whipping boy, cholesterol, a much maligned molecule. Supposedly the biochemical bad boy that's responsible for blood pressure problems, Alzheimer's disease, and other health challenges, and supposedly for every circulatory health system, health issue you can name, from high blood pressure, strokes, to heart attacks, aneurysms, etc. Well, as it turns out, that might not be the case. Time magazine ran an article a couple of weeks back that cast doubt on the idea that fat and butter and dairy and other high cholesterol foods are responsible for causing heart disease. The article actually went over the history of the so-called non-scientific political nature of the lipid hypothesis. It actually describes in detail the political nature of the so-called theory that underlies the whole cholesterol-lowering statin drug mentality that has pervaded cardiology to this day. Certainly that should come as no surprise to you if you've been paying attention to Dr. Wallach over the years. On this program or in his presentations, Doc has been advising folks to eat cholesterol-containing foods like eggs and butter and cheese and liver and organ meats for years. And he's right. Not only is cholesterol perhaps the single most important molecule in the body, it's hard to come up with anything more important, at least in terms of being a raw material. But as it turns out, the more cholesterol you eat, the less cholesterol your body has to make. So if you really want to lower your production of cholesterol without a statin drug, eat cholesterol. How do you like that? Eat cholesterol, and your body will make less cholesterol. In any case, scientists will tell you that there's lots and lots of important molecules that come from cholesterol. Lots of important molecules. In fact, these important molecules that we call vitamins and that we call hormones, you can actually think of them as types of cholesterol. In other words, vitamin D, which is, as most nutritional-minded people know, a cholesterol-derived vitamin, is not merely derived from cholesterol, but even more fundamentally, even more importantly, vitamin D, which fights cancer and strengthens the body's immune system and defenses and protects us from the sun and supports skin health and supports blood sugar chemistry. Vitamin D is actually a type of cholesterol. The male hormone testosterone is a type of cholesterol. How ironic is it that on the one hand, drug companies are trying to sell us pharmaceuticals for so-called low T, drugs that imitate or mimic this type of cholesterol, testosterone, and on the other hand, they're trying to sell us poison drugs and pharmacomedical strategies to suppress or shut down cholesterol production. Testosterone is a type of cholesterol. Female hormones are a type of cholesterol. As women get older, their estrogen levels drop, and the medical professionals will put these women on hormone replacement therapy, which is, of course, based on estrogen, a type of cholesterol. And at the same time, they'll put them on a statin drug to protect them from cholesterol. Does anyone else see a disconnect here? Last week, there was an article that came out in the Journal of Lipid Research that once again highlights the craziness of the so-called cholesterol hypothesis. The article basically says that cholesterol levels are so critical that to take a cholesterol-lowering drug to protect yourself from the heart is ludicrous. And this is in the Journal of Lipid Research. The article cast doubt on the whole idea that the HDL cholesterol is good and LDL cholesterol is bad, and you got to raise the levels of one and lower the levels of the other to prevent heart disease. The real issue with cholesterol, folks, is not cholesterol, it's sugar. To put it bluntly, put it succinctly, elevated blood cholesterol goes hand in hand with messed up blood sugar, or as they call it, dysglycemia. This is the problem with confusing the symptom for the cause. Elevated cholesterol is just a symptom. The cause is blood sugar problems. Cholesterol levels are intimately connected to sugar metabolism and the hormone insulin, which controls the level of cholesterol of sugar. Insulin controls the level of sugar in the blood. Sugar represents heat. Sugar represents fire, and you need small amounts for energy, obviously. But once the levels of sugar go up, levels of this fiery hot chemical go up, that's where we run into problems. That's when the body has to crank out the insulin in order to take care of the sugar. If you really want to keep your heart healthy, if you really want to live longer, if you really want to reduce the likelihood of having to deal with some autoimmune or degenerative disease, if you really want to lower your blood pressure, and you don't want to go on statin drugs, you don't want to interface with the medical model, that's fine because you don't need to. Just lower your insulin by eating less sugar and eating less foods that throw off your blood sugar, and then use nutritional supplements that help stabilize blood sugar. This is one of the most powerful aspects of the Youngevity line of products. And this is one of the main reasons, well, one of them, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the important reasons and one of the main reasons why I got so excited about hearing Dr. Wallach's message almost 17 years ago, over 17 years ago. Dr. Wallach understood, and he understands the importance of stabilizing blood sugar and how effective it can be, how effective a nutritional supplement program can be at helping control blood sugar as well as insulin. Use the Healthy Start Pack. Use the B vitamins in the Tangy Tangerine, especially niacin in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Of course, the sweeties as well, the chromium and vanadium. The more sugar we eat, the more insulin we make, the higher our cholesterol is going to be. And the less effective, the more likely it's going to be that we're going to be on a prescription drug or we're going to be interfacing with the medical model. If you want to get off your drugs and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. Our number today on the bright side, on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program is 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with more good health information on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program right after this. Don't go away. And I will be sitting in, as I always am, on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program with my good friend and colleague and partner in the health business for many years now, Doug Winfrey. What is up, Douglas? Good to talk to you.
It's great to have you on, as always. And this is one that kind of indicates Doc a little bit because he's been recommending this particular food for quite some time as an alternative to wheat, barley, rye, and oats for those that have gluten intolerances. And this is a Fox News story that is headlined, "Is Buckwheat the latest superfood?" And the author of the article said that they were researching gluten-free recipes in France, of all places, and found that there was a whole bunch of natural gluten-free recipes because they used buckwheat. They say it's an extremely healthy seed, which it is not a grain, contains no gluten, it's been grown for thousands of years in Asia and Europe, and is now being cultivated in the United States. And it's actually, the U.S. is now the fourth largest buckwheat producer in the world. And in a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, they found that higher buckwheat intake was associated with lower total cholesterol levels, lower LDL, and higher HDL. And other studies had shown that lower incidence in diabetes among buckwheat consumers. And they also said buckwheat is richer in protein than rice, millet, corn, or barley, and has 12 major amino acids, also a major source of
iron,
gluten, which is an antioxidant, supports cardiovascular health functions, that is. And they say it's also high in fiber content and is a natural appetite suppressant. And since it is a weed, it grows without the use of pesticides. So it's not only good for your health, but good for the planet as well.
That's right. Phagopyrum homotropicum. Tropicum, I believe. Phagopyrum homotropicum. Did you know that, by the way?
No, that's a new one to me.
Phagopyrum homotropicum.
I know soba. That's Japanese for buckwheat.
Soma?
Soba.
Seriously?
S-O-B-A. Yeah, like soba.
Yeah, soba
like
noodles.
Soba noodles,
Yeah, I love soba noodles. You know, here's the thing on buckwheat. Do you know why it hasn't really caught on, or it's now catching on, but it hasn't caught on the way other grains like rice and barley and wheat have caught on, is because of its very high nutritional content. It's a rich source of minerals. It's an especially rich source of iron. And when a food has all those nutrients in it, has iron in it, has all those minerals and all that protein, it's not quite as palatable as other kinds of foods. The heaviness of all those nutrients is what makes it a little bit less palatable, a little less flavorful than other grains, and that's why it hasn't caught on. But if your point is so well taken, Doug, if you're looking for a good kind of starchy food that's got a lot of energy and a lot of nutrients, and you don't want to deal with a lot of sugar, and you don't want to deal with gluten. If you've got gluten problems, yes, indeed, you're absolutely correct that buckwheat is an awesome, awesome food. And historically, as you said, for thousands of years, it's been used in Russia and it's been used in Asia. I didn't know that the United States is now a leading buckwheat producer. Did you say the fourth?
Fourth in the world, yeah. I thought that was pretty good. And it is interesting. Here we're probably exporting most of that because you don't see a lot of buckwheat lounging around at your local Safeway.
It's because our tastes haven't really caught on to the heaviness of buckwheat. But like you say, soba noodles.
Oh, I remember having buckwheat pancakes as a kid, and I loved them.
Did you like them?
Yeah.
Buckwheat's not wheat. You know that, right?
No, it's a grain, or it's a seed.
It's a seed, exactly, and we eat the seeds of the plant. And seeds in general tend to be very high in nutritional value because when you think about what is a seed really, it's life. It's a life form, and it has all the nutrients that you need for a life. So your point is really well taken. And how about buckwheat beer, by the way? I know you're a beer drinker. Have you ever had that?
No, I have not. I'm kind of off of beer because of the whole gluten intolerance thing. I do occasionally have a one that's made from sorghum that's out there.
Buckwheat beer, though, is gluten-free.
Is it? I'll have to see if I can find one somewhere.
There you go. And you can even get buckwheat whiskey. Did you know that?
I'm heading to the store after the show.
Okay, good deal. Make sure you put your Beyond Tangy Tangerine in your buckwheat whiskey, though, so you don't get a hangover after your holiday binging. No, I'm just kidding, Doug. I'm just teasing. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. We are going to come back and take your phone calls. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, or 888-379-2552. Toll free if you've got questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs. If you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. And of course, if you have a success story, we'd love to hear from you. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. Toll free. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today, along with Doug Winfrey. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, and 888-379-2552, toll free if you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs or the longevity products. If you have questions about the new Beyond Organic products, which, by the way, I love. Have you tried those yet, Douglas? Have you tried the cheese?
I ordered some in my last order, and my longevity products came in, but the cheese and stuff did not come in. I guess it's coming from a different place. So
well, let me tell you why.
Today.
I will tell you the reason why, because I experienced the same thing. I got my Beyond Tangy Tangerine, but I didn't get my Beyond Organic products. It's because they come in on ice. They have to keep them cold. And the Swerve and the Amasai, which is absolutely delicious, by the way. I've been drinking the unsweetened Amasai, and it's really, really tasty. And it's great for fasting. For you guys who are interested in doing an intermittent fast, if you've been reading about intermittent fasting and the importance of taking the day off from food, a great way to wean yourself into a fast. Of course, you're going to be getting a little bit of nutrition, so it's not a real fast. But to wean yourself into a fast, use the Amasai or use the Swerve products and try to use the unsweetened ones, and they taste very, very good, and they're also very satisfying and very filling. And of course, they're probiotic rich, so they're great for your digestive system. If you're dealing with any kind of digestive health issues, get on that Amasai. Love the Amasai especially, and then the Swerve is good too. And the cheese, I happen to be a connoisseur of cheese. I think you are too.
I love a good cheese.
I know. And this stuff is an artisan cheese. And Jordan, who's a brilliant guy, he actually breeds his own cattle. And they're grass-fed. All the cattle are grass-fed, so you get all the CLA, which is great for helping you lose weight. It's a wonderful fat. And you get all the omega-3s, and that's very important. Omega-3s are found in grass, so when you're eating animal products that come from animals that are feeding on grass, you get higher omega-3 fats. And most of us are getting way too many omega-6 fats. Of course, if cattle are eating grain, they're going to be omega-6 rich cattle. So the cheese is going to have a higher content of CLA, a higher content of omega-3s, and the cattle that Jordan breeds don't produce the problematic protein that many people have problems with when they eat dairy. So if you have a milk intolerance and you haven't been able to enjoy cheese, you may be able to enjoy this wonderful, and it is super delicious, artisan cheese from the Beyond Organics line. So that's just another reason. If you know anybody who's on the fence about joining Youngevity, this is another very important reason why they want to start participating in the Youngevity program, in addition to, of course, making some money. They can enjoy all the Beyond Organic products as well. And if you are a member, if you are participating in the Youngevity business, make sure you try the Beyond Organics probiotic-rich cheese. It is absolutely awesome. Okay, 831-685-1080. That's 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552. 888-379-2552. Toll free. I'm Pharmacist Ben along with Doug Winfrey. Let's take our first phone call of the day, Doug.
All right, let's head to Harry Truman Country in Independence, Missouri. And Doug, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Pharmacist Ben. Good to talk with you. Yeah, I have a 55-year-old lady that's been on the products, and she's had constipation her whole life, and even as a child, she'd have a monthly enema. And so she started on the products, gotten off gluten, except not 100%, because when she travels, she says it's just hard to. But she's gone from not having a bowel movement for like 17 days.
Oh, my God.
She's down like to 5 or 6 days, and she's using the herbal rainforest now for about 3 weeks.
Well, that's great.
She just wonders if it's dangerous to stay on that for a long time.
No, of course not. Absolutely not. She could stay on that as long as she needs to.
And then also she wonders about if she's absorbing nutrients, or does she need to wait till she gets regular bowel movements?
No. Well, hang on. We got to take a break. We'll finish this up when we come back from our break. 17 days without a bowel movement. That is not good. So hang on, Doug. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben along with Doug Winfrey. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. We do have a line open for you at 831-685-1080 for 888-379-2552. We're going to take a break and come back with more good health information on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. I'm Pharmacist Ben along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552, toll free. We're talking to Doug in Missouri. Are you there, Doug?
Yes, sir.
All right, so your friend has, she's getting better though, right? So she's down to 5 days, right? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Uh-huh.
That's still not good, right?
No.
She can stay on the herbal, the Majestic Earth Herbal Rainforest product, and that is a great laxative, actually. I like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine as a laxative. If you take too much, it can actually be uncomfortably a laxative, but certainly if you haven't had a bowel movement in 5 days, that might be something that she wants to think about. Even more fundamentally, however, in addition to using these kinds of nutrients to help relax the bowels, you want to figure out why the bowels are so constricted and what the constipation is about. And here's the story with constipation. And by the way, don't underestimate the health impact of not having regular bowel movements. Just think about it. All that food and all the breakdown products of food are just sitting there, and that means bacteria are feeding on that food, and that means the food is putrefying. And I don't want to get gross here, but you can just imagine, just think of rotting food, and that's what's happening in the warm kind of putrefaction intensive environment of the intestines. It's not a good thing. So what you want to do when you're constipated is you want to figure out what the heck's going on. Constipation is the manifestation of an emergency response. Remember, you have two nervous systems. You have a rest and relaxation nervous system. Scientists call it the parasympathetic nervous system. And then you have the emergency nervous system. That's the nervous system that's supposed to take over when there's some kind of life-threatening emergency, like a lion or a tiger, or the government, or your credit card bills, or your job. Or that's unfortunately perceived by the nervous system as being an emergency. And when that nervous system, the emergency nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system it's called, kicks in, you're going to find it difficult to have a bowel movement. And so the most important thing to do when you're constipated is figure out what the heck is going on in the body that's causing this kind of stress, this kind of emergency response. And more often than not, you're going to find it has something to do with the kind of food that you're eating. So constipation, in addition to being treated symptomatically by using things like the Majestic Earth Herbal Rainforest product and the Tangy Tangerine product, should be regarded as a sign that something is getting into the body that's causing stress and an emergency response, and it usually means a kind of food. So see if she can link her digestive difficulties to specific foods. And just a little clue for you, gluten and dairy are two big culprits when it comes to long-term constipation. And then also, there's one more thing I was going to tell you, deep breathing, oxygen, very important. You know, when you're having a bowel movement, a lot of us tend to hold our breath. And that's the worst thing you can do if you're constipated. So when you're having a bowel movement, when you're trying to evacuate your bowels, you want to relax your body and you want to make sure that you're breathing correctly, that is inhaling correctly, and most especially exhaling correctly, because it's on the exhale that parasympathetic relaxation nervous system is activated. So if you're trying to have a bowel movement and trying to evacuate your bowels and you're holding and clenching, which most of us do, you're doing the exact opposite thing, and that's going to make evacuation of the bowels much more difficult. So relaxing the body by deep breathing, doing correct deep breathing techniques, especially focusing on the exhale, is another strategy for you. Okay? Does that help you, Doug?
Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck, man. God bless. Okay, who's next on the line?
You know, the Ultimate Classic works pretty good for that, too.
You like the Ultimate? Not better than the Beyond Tangy Tangerine?
Oh, way more. I can't even take this stuff.
Serious?
Or I have a major problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We won't go any farther than that.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
But we're just about at break time here.
Okay. All right. We'll take calls in our next segment. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. You know, the whole idea of regular bowel movements, you guys, you cannot underestimate the importance of having regular bowel movements. You should have a bowel movement within 3 to 6 hours after your meals. You should be having a bowel movement. Actually, probably around 6 hours or so after you eat some food. If you want to check to see if you're evacuating correctly, you can eat a little beet, or you take a little charcoal powder and see how long it is before you're seeing some red or some black in the toilets, and that'll give you an idea of how fast you're clearing food out of your digestive tract. You don't want food sitting around in the intestine. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program, 831-685-1080. Welcome back to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey. Who's next on the line, Mr. Winfrey?
Let's head to Highland, California, and Ross, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Ross, what's
Hi,
going
Ben.
on, bro? How you doing?
I have two daughters that have Huntington's disease. You know what Huntington's disease is?
Oh, of course, yes. How old are your daughters?
One's 47 and the other's 52.
When did they start?
What do you recommend?
Well, I'll give you some ideas here. When did you start to become symptomatic?
Turned on about 40 each of them.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. It's Huntington's chorea, they call it. Chorea is like choreograph. It means dancing. It refers to the kind of abnormal movements. Is it severe? How bad is their condition?
Well, it continues to progress. As you well know, Huntington's disease, when it turns on, it begins dehydrating the fluid on the brain.
Well, let me just address how you handle it from a nutritional standpoint, okay? Huntington's disease, I don't need to tell you the details of it, but the point is it's degenerative. It breaks, the body doesn't heal, it doesn't recover, the symptoms get worse and worse over time. So what we want to do when you have Huntington's disease, or really any kind of degenerative disease, is you want to reduce the workload on the body, so the body can marshal all of its resources to dealing with whatever the degenerative condition is. The more work your body has to do digesting food, the more work your body has to do purifying toxins, the more work your body has to do stabilizing blood sugar, the more work your body has to do under conditions of cortisol or stress hormone, the harder it's going to be to put the brakes on this degenerative disease crisis. So what you want to do, the primary thing that you want to do is reduce the load on the body. And there's two kinds of loads. There's two kinds of burdens. There's two kinds of stresses. I call them negative burdens and positive burdens. Your positive burdens are things you're doing, and your negative burdens are things you're not doing. Positive burdens include sugar, include foods that you have a problem processing, psychological and emotional stresses. Those are the things you got to eliminate. So first and foremost, any kind of foods that create digestive difficulties, those need to be eliminated immediately. And you can always tell that there's a food that you're having a problem with by digestive symptoms. So if a food causes bloating or gas or bowel movement problems or heartburn or queasiness or nausea, that's a food you want to stay away from. And then if there's any foods that are, if they're enjoying or indulging in foods that spike the blood sugar, those need to be avoided, because blood sugar spikes are also very stressful on the body. And the way you avoid blood sugar spikes is by, number one, staying away from fast-burning sugars, breads, pastas, and processed foods, those kinds of things. And then eating more protein, and also eating more essential fatty acids, getting on the essential fatty acids. So getting on a good nutritional supplement program, especially one that has the whey protein in it, like the Slender FX and the Healthy Start Pack, that's always a must-have for all degenerative diseases, because that helps wean you off of the fast-burning sugars, the breads and the pastas and all those kinds of foods that can put a burden on the body. Then the second thing you want to do is eliminate negative stressors. What's a negative stressor? A negative stressor is something that's missing. So you got the positive stressors, something you're doing, you're going to want to avoid those. And then the negative stressors are things that are missing, you're going to want to include those. And of course, most importantly, is going to be the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. And this is where Dr. Wallach's genius really came from, or manifested itself, is in his understanding that by missing these Mighty 90 essential nutrients, every single one of our degenerative diseases arises. And every single one of our degenerative diseases gets worse by missing these Mighty 90 essential nutrients. So have your daughters get on the Healthy Start Pack, and I wouldn't even wait a day. You should be calling up Longevity today and getting on the Healthy Start Pack, especially the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Why? Because the Beyond Tangy Tangerine contains water-soluble nutrients, especially the B complex and electrolytes and vitamin C. And these three classes, if you will, of water-soluble nutrients are, number one, very important for the electrical system of the body. And Huntington's disease, or Huntington's chorea, is largely an electrical issue. This is what causes the movement disorders in the central nervous system. It's an electrical problem. And the B vitamins and vitamin C and the electrolytes are electrical nutrients. That's number one. But number two, and even more fundamentally, and this is so important, and we don't talk about it anywhere near enough in the world of health. If you listen to myself or Dr. Wallach, we talk about it a lot. And this is the idea that when you urinate, you go to the bathroom, you lose your B vitamins, you lose your vitamin C, you lose your electrolytes, and unless you're replacing them, you are guaranteed to become deficient. And given the critical nature of these nutrients when it comes to electrical health, the health of the brain, the health of the central nervous system, and also the cardiovascular system. These are all highly electrical systems. It's very likely that even if you don't have Huntington's chorea, it's very likely you're going to have some other kind of electrical degenerative issue if you're not on that Beyond Tangy Tangerine and replacing those electrical nutrients throughout the day. In addition, the Healthy Start Pack, of course, is going to get you the ultimate essential fatty acids, and EFAs are also very important for all electrical health issues, the brain and the nervous system. So, number one, stay away from positive stressors. Those are mostly foods. And if there's any prescription drugs or toxins in there, you want to be careful about those as well. And then number two, avoiding negative stressors, which means getting on a good nutritional supplement program. And that means starting off with the Healthy Start Pack and sipping on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine all day long. If you want to throw a couple extra things in there, you might want to try the Z-Radical, which is great for all immune system and degenerative kinds of issues. Also improves circulatory system health. And then the BioLumin Nightly Essence, which I consider to be an absolute must-have nutritional supplement. The BioLumin Nightly Essence, of course, as many of you know, is a wonderful, wonderful probiotic supplement. And there's a very important relationship between bacteria in the gut. Scientists call that the microbiome. All those bacteria live in the gut, and the nervous system, and how we process electrical energy. So you got lots of good ideas there for you. Hope that helps. God bless you, and good luck with your daughters. Thanks for your call. Okay, who's next on the line? Douglas?
All right, let's head to Colorado. And Marie, you're on with pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Marie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm your neighbor, I see.
I know. Where are you? Where in Colorado? Where are you in Colorado?
In Erie.
Oh, you're in Erie?
Yeah.
Have you and I met? Have we been to a Super Saturday? Oh, you should come to a Super Saturday.
I would love to meet you.
Come out to a Super Saturday. Why don't you send me an email? Send an email to ben@ksco.com, and I'll let you know when Tom Chenault is doing his next Super Saturday, and I go to those pretty much all the time, and we can meet up.
Was that B-E-N or D-A-N?
No, Ben, like Benjamin Franklin. B-E-N, B as in boy.
KFCO.com.
K as in King, S as in Sam, C as in Cat, O as in Oscar. Ben@ksco.com.
Oh, awesome. That would be great.
Okay, cool. How can we help you today, Marie?
I'm a pianist, and I've developed osteoarthritis in my hands.
Well, that's not good.
I've been taking glucosamine with chondroitin for 2 years.
Yeah,
anything? And unfortunately, the osteoarthritis has increased, and now I'm bone on bone.
That's not good. That's not good.
No,
Can I ask you? Go ahead.
April 10th,
Marie.
I started with your products.
April 10th?
Yes, and since then, this is not a toxic, but it's just actuality. I have additional increased pain in my hands and my knees.
Okay, let's fix you right up here. You ready to get fixed up? Because we can take care of you. Here's the deal with and just give me approximately how old are you? You're in your 50s, or just give me the decade?
I'm 66.
Okay, you're 60s. Okay, good, 66. Here's the deal. Osteoarthritis is a wear and tear degenerative health issue, as opposed to rheumatoid arthritis, which is considered to be an immune system issue. Osteoarthritis is a sign that the body's not repairing itself. Under ordinary conditions, there's repair that takes place, but when you have osteoarthritis, that's not occurring. There could be a lot of reasons for that, but the first thing you want to focus on is absorption of nutrients out of the intestine. When we eat food, that food gets broken down in the stomach, and then it gets broken down even further in the top of the intestine, and as the broken down food passes down through the intestine, it's getting absorbed. The nutrients are getting absorbed into the blood. If you have osteoarthritis, the first thing you want to consider is that is not happening correctly, because you're not getting the raw materials to do your work. So, we got to take a break. Hang on, Marie. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We will be back with more good health information right after this. Don't go away. Okay, we are back talking to Marie in Colorado. Marie, are you there, my dear?
Yes, I am.
You're the pianist with osteoarthritis, so we're going to fix you up here. If you're on the products and you're not noticing results really quickly, and I mean really quickly, I assume you're on the Healthy Start Pack, correct?
Yes, actually, I've had additional pain since I started.
All right, then you're not absorbing those nutrients. So, do you have any other health issues? You must have something else going on. I need to know what are your.
I do.
Okay,
tendinitis.
Tell me. No. Aside from the joints and the muscles, anything else going on? Any blood sugar problem?
No.
You're positive. Here's what you need to do, because osteoarthritis doesn't just kind of come in out of the sky and little osteoarthritis dust gets sprinkles on your head.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I've had blood work done on me.
Okay, but I don't want to hear, sweetheart, I don't want to hear about blood work because I don't believe in it. And here's the deal with blood work. They test for specific issues. They don't test for everything. They can't test for everything. So they'll cherry pick specific kinds of markers. So blood work is just a waste of time and a waste of money in my personal opinion. So don't go there. Go by your symptoms. Always trust your body. Trust your symptoms, not the medical model. That's the premise here. Our bodies are much more intelligent than any test scores. Don't pay any attention to, and by the way, on your test, your blood work, they're making their assessments based on reference ranges. So they'll say you're normal or you're not normal or you're high or you're low based on a bell curve, which is nothing more than how most people are. But you're not most people. You're very special, Marie. We're all very special. There's no normal human beings. There's no normal people. Everybody is unique, which is why tests and blood panels, etc., are really a waste of time if you have symptoms. You want to go by your symptomology, and everything you're telling me tells me that the body's not absorbing nutrients. And if the body doesn't absorb nutrients, it's not just going to affect the joints, it's going to affect everything. So the fact that you're not noticing them is something that you really want to start to pay attention to, because everything you're telling me is indicative of what we call malabsorption of nutrition, and that means you got to have some digestive things happening. So here's what you need to do. Number one, you want to start writing down everything you eat and do what we call a food diary, where you write down what you eat and then write down how you feel after. And don't try to use your memory, because our brain is such that we don't notice things that happen all the time, and chances are pretty good at the age of 66 there's something you're just not processing correctly, and it probably has been happening for a long period. So until you nail that down, you're going to have a problem absorbing your nutrients. Second thing you probably would be smart to do is get on a couple of very key longevity supplements, three in particular, actually. One is called, I talked about it a moment ago, the BioLumin Nightly Essence, and those are probiotics. Those are good bacteria, and they can help you process your food, and they also have wonderful anti-inflammatory benefits. Then there's the digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes, and I love this product. I'll tell you why. As a nutritionist and as a pharmacist, I love multifunctionality. Multifunctionality is when you get lots of benefits from one supplement. With the ultimate enzymes, not only are you going to get digestive support, obviously they're digestive enzymes, and that will help you get your protein out of your foods and your fats out of your foods, even help you break down your sugars, but even better, with the ultimate enzymes, you're going to get anti-inflammatory effects. This is so cool. With the ultimate enzymes, you'll get a reduction in inflammation, and that can speed up the healing of the joints. And as a bonus, as if that weren't enough, the ultimate enzymes are a great blood thinner too. So if you have any problems with thickening of the blood, which many of us do as we get older, that'll help thin your blood. And then the third really interesting multifunctional product, and I talked about that earlier as well, I talked about this one earlier, is the Z-Radical. The Z-Radical is powerfully anti-inflammatory. It also has some nice blood thinning effects, which can improve detoxification and oxygenation of various tissues and nutrient delivery. But the Z-Radical, in addition to all of that, has some nice digestive support, and that can help you absorb your nutrients. So you really want to focus on absorption. And this is not just for Marie. This is for everybody. If you're using the longevity products or any nutritional supplement products and you're not getting the benefits that you know nutritional supplementation should give you, you want to think about malabsorption. And don't underestimate how common malabsorption is. When you think about it, the digestive system needs nutrients too. Our whole body needs nutrients. Why should the intestines and the small intestine and the liver and the other digestive structures be any different? The bottom line here, friends, is no matter what your health condition is, getting on a good nutritional supplement program like the one designed by Dr. Wallach can help you go a long way towards recovery and regeneration and accessing and leveraging the God-given power of the human body. Thanks so much for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful day. For Doc Wallach and Doug Winfrey and all the folks at the CBS Radio Network, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.